Jewelry salesman humiliates woman at the store and instantly regrets his behavior. Every girl dreams of a big fat wedding, a happily ever after if you may. While some girls have their wishes granted, others have a tight budget to work with to make sure that their big day is just as extraordinary as they dreamed it would be. We can't blame them both, after all. Weddings are marked to be the biggest day of a couple's lives. Such is the story of two young girls both ready to marry the love of their lives. The wedding itself is not the hard part, and most of you will agree it's the planning, the jewelry, and the budgeting that eats up most of your time. Meet Rachel Williams and Jenna Hopkins. Both grew up in the same town and went to the same school but had a different set of friends. Although Rachel and Jenna were neighbors, they hardly spoke to each other, mostly because Rachel belonged to a small middle-class family, whereas Jenna, well, sometimes had no idea where to spend her money. Rachel grew up learning that every penny counts and thus lived on a budget, but Jenna, on the other hand, liked to splurge. Life was smooth for the two girls until after they graduated from one of the most prestigious colleges in their state. After graduating, Jenna splurged on designer clothes, expensive bags, and exotic vacations, while Rachel opted to support her family financially and thus took up a hectic job as a creative director in a popular MNC. Never again did the girls see each other until they found the love of their lives and began planning for the big day. There was a lot to do and so many people to invite. After all, it's a wedding and both girls wanted their big day to be perfect. Then, when it was time to pre-select wedding rings, both the girls found themselves in the same jewelry store. While a richly dressed Jenna was busy looking at diamond rings, a simple-looking Rachel walked in, greeted Jenna, and requested to see diamond rings too. Seeing as how Rachel was dressed, the jewelry salesman began showing her some of the most basic gold wedding bands, because in his mind, he had already assumed that she wouldn't be able to afford the diamond rings. But when Rachel insisted on seeing them, Jenna insulted her by telling her that they were beyond her budget and that basic gold wedding bands were all that she could afford. Although that remark made the salesman snicker as he continued to show Jenna different diamond rings, Rachel ignored Jenna's cruel comments and looked around for her perfect wedding band. When she saw a ring she liked, she asked the salesman about it. But instead of being polite, he told her that the ring was worth $17,000 and that not many could afford such an expensive wedding band. Not only did the salesman refuse to show her the ring, but he also humiliated her by telling her that she was wasting everyone's time. After being embarrassed in front of Jenna and other people present in the store, Rachel decided to leave. But as soon as she turned, a young billionaire walked into the store. People in the store immediately began whispering about the billionaire's fame and wealth, and instantly thought Jenna was his lucky bride. That's when reality hit everyone. Instead of walking towards Jenna, the billionaire walked towards Rachel and gave her a warm hug, leaving everyone shocked. Yes, Rachel was the billionaire's bride, but it was her modesty that forbade her from lashing out at others. It was her politeness, her humbleness, and her calm demeanor that the billionaire had fallen in love with. Naturally, both Jenna and the salesman were extremely embarrassed and apologized to Rachel for their rude behavior before she left the store with the most expensive wedding band. With Rachel gone, the humiliated salesman turned to Jenna, who was still busy looking at diamond rings, unable to decide on the perfect one. Just as she was about to pick a ring, her boyfriend called and told her that he had lost his job and that they could not afford anything in the store. The salesman and everyone present in the store, including Jenna, learned a big life lesson: to never judge a book by its cover. Rochelle E. Goodrich once said, "We live our lives supposing things are as they appear to be, when that is almost never the case." What a great lesson indeed. What is the best way to stop judging others by their appearance? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and check out JoJo Stories for more jaw-dropping content we're sure you'll enjoy.
The world is filled with stories going viral every single day. But how many of these sites can you actually follow? We understand that your day should start with positive stories, stories that resonate with you. And so we started JoJo Stories. Our mission is to create meaningful stories that cover everything from animals to anthropology, history to environment and lifestyle. The kind of content you read on our site will be one you'll want to share with your family and friends. We hope you'll join our growing family and be part of our community. Welcome to JoJo Stories. JojoStories.com.